Tim Geithner is in charge of a company called Mariner. They are predatory, ugly, predatory lenders. Tim Geithner, you might remember, was in charge of our money under the Obama administration. The predatory lending story has been outrageous. Fortunately, I'm here with Farron Cousins, who has followed this story more than anybody I know. It's an outrageous story. Tell us how predatory lending works, first of all, and then tell us how this DNC sweetheart, DNC sweetheart, Tim Geithner, pals with Larry Summers, who is also kind of a DNC sweetheart. How is he now one of the predatory jackals, I'll call him? That's really what he is.
Not only has Geithner become one of the jackals, he has revolutionized these predatory payday lending scams. Because rather than set up these, rundown offices in the poorest parts of neighborhoods, like the cash advance, things like that we've seen in the past with predatory lenders, he has tried to make it into more of an upscale venture. He gives out larger loans, higher interest rates, but larger loans for more money. And now what he and Mariner are doing, which they now have 450 branches in 22 different states, they're just, and I wish there was a more sophisticated way to say this, but there's not. They're just mailing checks to poor people, hoping that the poor people cash the check so that they can catch them, and now they've got them in this loan that this person may not have known.
Okay.
Plenty of times.
Wait. Farron, that sounds so incredible, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
Again, the poor person doesn't ask for the check.
Right.
They do background checks. They see sometimes that the person may have equity in their home. They do all their homework, but the person is living subsistence existence, barely making payments, barely staying alive. And the Tim Geithner crew, Tim Geithner, Obama's financial guy, now says, well, I got a good idea. We're gonna mail them a check, and if they catch it, we got them.
Well,
Isn't that it?
And here's what they do as well. This is part of the scheme. They look through hospital billing databases. They look through, any kind of car repair database, anywhere where you've given your name and phone number, things like that. They can see who gets popped with a big bill. Say you just, had a surgery, your insurance covered most of it, but now you have a hospital bill for $5,000. Couple days later, a $5,000 check shows up, and you say, okay, well, I could really use this right now to pay this and be done with it before that goes to collections. They also work with collection agencies to find out who owes what. So it is very targeted. It is very sophisticated. And these checks do not come with very much explanation, a little bit of fine print that nobody reads. They think, oh, well, this is a good thing. I'm probably 5% interest, better than a credit card. Reality, almost 40% interest on these things, and they lock them in. Yeah. And then,
as a matter of fact, let me just tell you something. Finally, the king of predatory lending went to prison, one of the kings. Now, there's so many out there right now. Now the new king is Tim Geithner. Okay, this is the DNC golden boy who is now running this pathetic, ugly scam. Let me back up just a second. Before they send the check, they have abilities to find out everything they want to about you.
Yeah.
Okay, they can find out where do you shop, what do you buy, who do you owe money to, are you behind on your rent, are you behind on your house payment? They do all of that, and they have a matrix that targets, this is the right person. This person hits all of the matrix just right. It's like throwing a dart and hitting bullseye. So you're a bullseye, you owe the hospital $5,000, you can't pay it, you get a $5,000 check, and they've got you for the rest of your life.
Right, and these are people who would not ordinarily even consider doing one of these payday loan scams. But when you're sitting there and you've got that check in your hand and you know all you have to do is sign the back of it and it's in the bank, and in the other hand, you're looking at that bill and you're getting the phone calls from the debt collectors, this check is a lot more likely to get cashed than if you had to get in your car, go find one of those lending places, hand over your car title or whatever it is. Tim Geithner should be in prison. Tim Geithner should be in prison. That's the bottom line here.
I saw a great article that basically said that what's happened to the Democratic Party is the new face is Wall Street contrasted with the face of Maxine Waters' crazy woman. I mean, that's how they describe it. Was really well done. It was well thought out. It was well presented. And that's really what it is. I mean, you've got these Wall Street Tim Geithners now in charge of the Democratic Party. And on the other side, you've got, I don't even know how to describe it. It's gotten so crazy.